Hi, I'm Mark Everglade. I'm going to be reading from Pay to Play on this Cyberpunk Day. Pay to Play is part of the Neo Cyberpunk anthology. You can find more information at cyberpunkday.com. The Sunset's Pay to Play. You want to see it? You pay the fee. Silica adjusts the calibration of her VHUD or virtual heads-up display, but it's no use. Credit card ads blot out the sun, and only opening an account will restore the sunset. As for just turning VHUD off, no way. Even a moment of being a naked primitive human without that flood of information is hell. An overactive mind is a calm mind. In augmented reality, the only one she can tolerate. Night engulfs the censored sun, wraps itself around the city to shade the horizon. It smudges the clouds with charcoal. The city flares alive, becomes a blur of candy pink and electric neon blue. The full moon loiters over the skyscrapers, but its beauty is ruined with a message that runs across the moon. Add space available. Silica heads down the street, pounding the pavement with each step. A barrage of rain falls from inkwell clouds. The wind breathes through her just for a moment, the slightest moment, that eye before the storm sort of thing. Enough time wasted. She cannot fail this mission. She climbs a steel-rung ladder attached to a highway overpass, leaving the snaking alleys of the city's lower levels behind. She perches atop an old toll booth on the floating highway to take in the city, looking for anyone tailing her. Suspended highways weave like Celtic knotwork swallowed in smog. Cars speed by, their lights blur like a laser show. Two groups of men on the streets below suddenly change direction and head towards a railroad bridge where they meet. Hunched shoulders, duffled bags, nothing good going on with this transaction. Two guys on each side step forward and yell demands until the leader draws a long, heavy weapon. The others open fire, but it does no good because their bullets warp and bend around an invisible field. The leader returns fire, but no bullets sputter. A churning vortex emerges instead from his gun. That vortex hangs mid-air in front of the opposing group, replacing reality anywhere it touches with a sizzling black gap. The bridge twists as concrete breaks off to crash on the streets below. The vortex compresses and vanishes with a ripping noise that shatters thousands of windows in the city. The men scream, their bodies are ripped to pieces as if reality itself went through a paper shredder. Yeah, it was that sort of death. That leader's her target, that's Silica's target, Baki Kapit. Kapit is the CEO of Schism Inc. His tech company develops military weapons like that Vortex gun that were banned at the 2060 convention in New Geneva. Silica needs to know what's up, so she connects to Hype, threading her mind through the net of nets. Back online, a flood of awareness surges through her. VR runs through her implants. She drifts through nodes of a pulsating purple grid that weaves below the starry expanse like a writhing snake. Lattices of data in the internet and shimmering light etch everything with cryptic code. Conveyor belts run packets of intel back and forth as script kiddies try to intercept the cargo. Silica's ego divides. It soars through VR down every URL in the local network, looking for Kapit's company communications feed. Right there, she narrows in on a golden highway where the public and the private domains meet, where authentication keys hold hands, exchanging network credentials. She dives deeper into the network and intercepts them, and establishes a connection to his company's most incriminating military files. But a gun presses against her back in meat space. No more time for intel. She jacks out of Hype, turns and lands a backhand blow in the assailant's face, busting his nose. She grabs his pulsar rifle and fires, but it's keyed to his signature and no blast issues, so she bolts instead, running along the overpass as cars streak by. and beating her assailant to his vehicle as she opens the door, slams the gas, and speeds off. She swerves through traffic to approach the broken bridge where Kapit stands proud. It will be his last stand. Silka speeds towards her target. His henchmen dive for cover. Jumping out of the car, she stands face to face with the man who sold out humanity for a sweet and Jumping out of the car, she stands face to face with the man who sold out humanity for a suite in Mar-a-Lago. Kapit points the vortex weapon at her, but she knows he's too close to shoot without destroying himself in the process. She calls his bluff and charges him, shoves the gun up and against his face, but a shot goes off and blasts the overpass out from under them. They leap down as the rubble falls, cars swerving around them as they land on the road below. His team breaks their arms, their legs, their head, but she's unscathed. Profits over people, she says. You really thought you could get away with it, Kapit. Your weapons of mass destruction, your deception to the people, this ends now, she yells as the cars speed past. Never, Kapit says. She continues, I already made a connection to your files. Everything you've done will be leaked to the public. Kapit stands in the road and gasps, flicking his eyes back and forth, no doubt trying to erase the files as she downloads them. Oh, and one more thing, Silka says. What's that? Look out. Kapit looks over his shoulder right before a truck plows him down, smashing his head into the pavement. Because the world is paid to play for people like Baki, Kapit, but it doesn't have to be that way. People like Silka will always be there to sever the fragile strings that hold people's power in place. Thank you for joining me. You can find more information at www.markeverglade.com or cyberpunkday.com. Check out the Neo Cyberpunk Anthology for a lot of great short stories by established cyberpunk authors.